How did Oliver Fox's body get into the suitcase in the first place? Karen asked, feeling thoroughly confused. She wished he'd started at the beginning of the story. William's whole body began to shake, and his solicitor put her hand on his arm. "Are you okay to continue, William?" Karen poured him a drink from the bottle of mineral water on the bench behind them. She pushed the plastic cup across the table to him. He took it gratefully. "Thank you. It happened 30 years ago, so my memory is not the best. I'll try to tell you everything, though. I think it was 1987 that I first heard whispers about Oliver Fox. At first, I thought they were just malicious, unsubstantiated rumours. He was a funny man and kept to himself, and people did like to gossip if they felt others didn't fit in. It was a tight-knit village in those days, and outsiders were always viewed with suspicion. He'd lived in Skellingthorpe for years, but didn't get too involved in village life, which was unusual for a teacher in those days. I first realised people were taking the rumours seriously when Bert, who was the headmaster at the time, asked me to go along to the football training sessions after school on Thursdays. I got the distinct impression he wanted somebody to keep an eye on Oliver. That was in May 1987, I think. I did my best, but I had my own family and I couldn't make it every Thursday. And he never did anything untoward when I was around. So I started to think the rumours had been wrong. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. Something I'd later regret. It was just after Easter in 1988 when it happened. I'd stayed late to mark some homework and prepare my lessons for the next week when 3 young boys came into the classroom. I was about to tell them off because they weren't allowed to be wandering around the school after hours. But then I saw the blood. The first boy, James, was covered in it. It was even in his hair, and the other 2 had it all over their hands and shirts. They were in shock, babbling incoherently. So I took them along to the headmaster. When I realised what had happened, I wanted to go straight to the police, but Bert took charge. He told me we wouldn't be going to the police. I have to admit I lost my temper with him. I thought he was trying to protect the school's reputation or something daft like that. But then he explained there was a strong possibility the boys would get the blame, and no one would listen to their side of the story because nobody had believed a similar allegation made the year before. That's when I remembered the officer who'd come round asking questions a year before. He'd wanted to know all about Oliver Fox and his relationship with the students. I'd been as honest as I could be with him, but I'd never seen Oliver do anything to make any of the boys uncomfortable. And they'd never come to me with any problems. His voice broke, and he took another sip of water. The events may have happened 30 years ago, but William Grant's emotions were still raw. Bert told me that Oliver Fox's brother was in the police force, and he'd quashed the last investigation. It knocked me for 6. I'd known about Mark Bell's suicide, of course, but I hadn't known what was behind it. I suppose I was in shock. We went into the changing room and found Oliver Fox's body just lying there. His blood was all over the floor. Bert checked for a pulse and couldn't find one. I found the boys some clothes from lost property and told them to get changed after washing off the blood. I said they must tell their families they managed to spill paint on their clothes and they were ruined. I burned the uniforms later. While I was doing that, Bert managed to get Oliver's body onto a mat from the games hall and rolled him up in it. William shuddered. There was so much blood. Bert and I loaded the body into the back of his old Volvo. Then we sent the boys home, instructing them not to tell anyone what had happened. And Bert and I moved the body into the outbuilding in his garden. I still can't believe we got away with it. His wife was...